Again, that last video was cut short, so I'm going to wrap up a few things, tie up a few loose ends on, sexuality in the earthly sense, how it's related, like where my 3 chakras play a part in this, and, applying the astrological signs and planets that govern each of those chakras too. And then after that, I'm going to move on to my story about Tantra and how Tantra has been helping me to heal this wound. So, the Venus in Gemini placement in my 10th house, has been very, very symbolic in the way that it's impacted the way that my second chakra has been operating. Now, I know that I still have a little bit of digging to do to figure out the origins of where this wound started, and how Chiron can actually, serve the role to help to bind the wound and to help to, creatively apply the powers necessary to help, my Venus Gemini express itself perfectly, to express it according to its true cosmic storehouse. But so I know that, because I've always had a tendency to be very, very lighthearted in the way that I've approached women, that I've approached, really just anything that just expands the mind and gives it flexibility and helps to provide variety, which helps to nurture those Gemini qualities so as to not get bored. I know that it's been quite difficult in that sense, just, probably because the Chiron affliction itself is just, something that happened as a result of some, sudden chaos that emerged, out of the blackness of space, perhaps, obviously I'm in a good place right now knowing that, working at this fitness club, that I do, working at Elite Sports Club, that I have a lot of variety in my job, working up at the front desk, so that helps to, give me a real sense of identity and boost my self-esteem, which also serves my Virgo ascendant too, so it's like both sides of the Mercury influence right there, to help to give me more of that mercurial disposition. And then, of course, now that I'm learning how to level out my Venus, in doing so, this is also going to help me to understand then how to finally gauge, whatever amount of Mars energy I need in my solar plexus, because obviously now, I have, I already have a natural capacity to communicate, I already have an interest in a lot of things, especially under the umbrella of fitness and wellness and dance, things that have to do, with the human body, and finding ecstasy and joy, in the physical sense. And of course, being in my 10th house, I feel that working now at Elite Sports Club is, going to point me in the direction of the type of career that I want to follow. Though of course I'm still, because Gemini deals with variety, I'm also trying to, integrate my work with dance and hopefully with theater, the performing arts, and see how my work in the fitness industry can help to feed that, to nurture that, on a mental plane, that is. Now, obviously, in terms of, a mate, obviously I want to be looking for that sort of variety in a partner myself. I think that's why, I've often questioned the polyamorous nature of my Venus Gemini. I was actually part of a poly group a few years back because I was under the assumption that, I'm a type of person who can't really settle down with one partner. I can have a steady partner, but then I also have to have another partner too, and it has to be kind of like a revolving door, to satisfy the many, many different aspects of my erotic nature, my erotic imagination, which I think also applies to that Venus sign too. So, but obviously now I need Mars in Capricorn, which is in my 5th house, and what I need right now is, what I'm doing at present, I'm applying that Capricorn energy of, setting concrete goals for myself and planning all the steps needed to make sure that I'm carrying out my goals, and that there's sustainability in the path that I'm following to accomplish those goals. Like, I've been involved now with Dance Works for 2 years solid, and I haven't given up, and I already know that I have an immense, storehouse of Martian energy that I'm building up anyways, through my YouTube channel, obviously, all my dance videos that you've seen me put up, and my hopes to work towards getting into the Get It Out There competition, in which I can get a dance choreography piece put out there, which hopefully, other people will take notice of it and they'll want to collaborate me and, work on different dance ideas that I have yet to conceive. And I'm also working on music videos too. I'm working on, my directing and my acting talents as well. And there's a video I'm working on with a very, very good friend of mine who is definitely, my equal in terms of, that creative exchange that we have. And I feel that has also been contributing to that 5th house childlike playfulness that at the same time is also, tempering that playfulness with a certain practicality too, which is obviously what that Mars and Capricorn placement is all about. So yeah, anyways, I realize it's a lot for you to wrap your head around, I understand, but I already know that this is probably going to be like a 10-part segment, so I'm just trying to, compress everything down to at least like 3 or 4 parts if necessary, So now the question that I have to lead myself back to is, the subject that I started out with, which is the subject of sexuality. Now, this is where I get into my story of Tantra and how I experienced that over the summer. Now, I met a woman in Oconomowoc back in June, and it took quite a few different resources. Like I had an online phone conversation with a woman from California who actually works in the business of sacred sexuality. Told her about my pornography addiction and, my problems in, nurturing and caring for myself and, being able to attract a mate, because like I had one 3 years ago, and then after like my first date with her, it fell apart and we never saw each other again after that. So then I went and saw this woman in Oconomowoc, and which she pointed me in the direction towards. And she was the most amazing, most calming soul that I have ever met. And I am so grateful to have actually gotten a chance to know her. When we first met, it's like she greeted me with a hug, like I was, like I was just a very, very welcome traveler, who had come afar, who had come far and wide to see this woman. Because, how else do you find out about, these priestesses who work in the business of sacred sexuality unless it's through, some means of, just knowing the right contacts? It's not like these types of people, advertise themselves on a mainstream level, though hopefully that is becoming more and more the norm, with guys like me now, the dawning of, the new masculine, trying to understand, trying to unite, both forces within. I get the feeling that this video is going to run out, so I'm going to cut it short for right now, and I'm going to explain the rest of my Tantra story in the next video. Well, because honestly, this is an old phone, and I know that it's just going to die out on me any second. So, but anyways, just hang on tight, and I will be back very, very